Back at the Adelaide Australian Grand Prix, and we're getting ready for the Celebrity Challenge. There's Dame Edna. She's being escorted by some surf lifesavers. They're her bodyguards. The old gladiolus off into the crowd. I tell you what, you just don't realise that that man is, in fact, Barry Humphries, but Dame Edna is obviously a character that's very, very much part of the Australian psyche these days. And don't they love her? Everyone's chasing the gladiolus, and there are plenty of them too. She must have raided every flower shop in Adelaide over the last couple of days. Right now, Charles Stewart's down there on the grid.
Yes, thanks, Ken. The weather down here is a little bit touch and go at the moment. We had a few sprinkles of rain, and there's some fairly ominous looking clouds behind me, so we may get a little bit of rain during the Celebrity Race, which will be very interesting for these drivers, because I don't believe that any of them have had any experience in the wet, and that'll add an extra wild card into this event. Back to you.
Neil Crompton has done all that he can to prepare the field for their ultimate driving test. Now it's time to throw away the training wheels as Clive, Dame Edna, and the girls fly solo in the Celebrity Challenge. To call the action, two sensitive new age guys, Daz and Dick Johnson.
Thanks a lot, Ken. Brad Jones has joined us in the commentary box too. Brad, you've had a lot to do with Neil Crompton. Neil Crompton sitting there beside Dame Edna, just as an observer. I notice he's in a full race suit and helmet, though.
I think he's going to need more than that before the end of the race, too.
Which one of us do you think got the short straw, Darryl?
So, it's been a lot of fun. We just saw Anne-Maree Sparkman's story on that. But, I mean, you were saying that a lot of these girls were apprehensive, and that sort of makes me wonder because they're so strong in their own field.
Well, the first day was quite amazing. You know, they would get there and they'd get a bit upset because some came on the Tuesday and some arrived on the Wednesday and, oh, I don't think I can do this. And, you know, by the second day they'd done it, it's like, I need to go faster, you know, where do I need to be braking and what do I need to do? And, you know, they just get so competitive. But the first day was a little intimidating for a few of them.
Dick, I've got to say this. I mean, I did it a few years ago now, and I sure changed the distance that I was driving. But you really are trying as hard as you can. I mean, people at home are saying, look how slow they are. But, I mean, in the car, you are driving it as hard as you possibly can.
Well, it feels like 150 miles an hour when you're out there. I know it looks slow by comparison to the Formula One cars and the Group A cars, but these particular cars, you'd be surprised the speed they get up to down the main straight. It's probably in excess of 100 miles an hour, which is fairly fast. So most of these people have probably never driven over 100k. So you've got to take that into consideration, and to be able to coordinate yourself, to be able to brake and change gear and turn the steering wheel all at once is something that a lot of people have a little bit of difficulty with.
Well, Brad, of course, a lot of them have never driven a manual car before.
Well, that's true. And, you know, what Dick was saying is very true. I jumped in with Hayley the first day and said, you know, change gears at 6,000. He said, oh, I can't do that. You know, what will my dad say? It's like, he never lets me drive that fast. So, and as you said, the other problem is someone like Melissa had never driven a car that's a manual. So for them to come along as far as they can, I mean, it's amazing. Melissa couldn't just drive away, but now she's very, very confident.
Well, it must give you a lot of satisfaction to be able to do that. I mean, in just a few days that you've had the girls together, and of course, Clive, Dame Edna. Dame Edna's missed a few practice sessions, a bit naughty there, doing other things, but it must be satisfying for you to be able to say, well, I know that they're better drivers now.
Well, it is, and you know, usually the first thing you ask them is, you know, you a good driver? And half of them say, oh, of course. And the other half say, well, you know, I want to be. So usually by the second day, they've worked out whether they're going to be competitive or not, and they set their agenda, and, you know, we try as hard as we can to help them stick by it.
Well, the GMH company, Calibra, I mean, they've done a terrific job with the cars. I mean, they're a lovely car, aren't they, to drive? And I mean, to put the amount of these cars on a track at any given time, there's a lot of money tied up there.
But there is. I mean, they're all brand new cars, and you know, and each person's jumped in like, oh, isn't this a beautiful car? I'd love to own one of these. So hopefully the celebrities will pick a few up at the end.
Well, of course, somebody will own one of these just by watching our telecast over the weekend, because we've got our fantastic up for grabs, as we do every weekend. We give away $5,000 within that same format of memorable moments. You can win one of these cars today. So somebody today is going to have one of these. That's not a bad prize.
Actually, it might even be this one, Dazza.
$42,000 in cash. I don't think you'd want to drive Dame Edna's car in, eh?
It'd be full of gladdies, I think.
Okay. So that's how they're going to line up on the grid, and I can see a windscreen wiper going there. A few spots of rain. This is going to make it interesting, Brad.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that, I don't know whether it's raining or they're just sort of acclimatising themselves to make sure they know where everything is, which is something we've beaten into them a little bit. But it doesn't matter whether you talk to the ones at the front of the field, the middle or the back. They're all, you know, a bit nervous at the start down there before, and they're like, oh, you know, I don't want to look silly and I want to pass. You know, they all want to pass someone, so it should be a good race. I think it's just spitting out there, so that should make it quite interesting.
I tell you what, Clive would have so much adrenaline running through him right now. I've never seen a guy who has never ever driven a car before. He came to the Grand Prix a few years ago, and now he's just so intense on this particular event that it's quite incredible. He's really begun to like it, I think.
Yeah, the looks on his face yesterday, he really did get quite nervous when he came out for the qualifying session, and we were talking to him just prior to that, and he really was very nervous about it. But he's got this look about him, as he sits back, this regal look.
I've never seen a bloke sweat as much as he does when he's driving a car. Clive's all pretty serious about it.
Actually, he's got more sponsors than Ayrton Senna by the look of his overalls.
Yeah. Okay, the grid almost lining up. Let's go through that now. Michelle Fielke out in front from Marshall, Haslam, Bailey, Lewis, Dale. They're the top runners, and it'll be very hard for the others now to pass from there, because remember, they're all equal powered cars. Anne-Maree Sparkman well back on the grid. That's a bit surprising. Donna Gardner, that surprises me, back on row 7, because she really was going very hard. But Wayne told me that she scared herself in the first couple of days and said, I've really got to slow down, I'm scaring myself.
Well, the first day here, yeah, she was having a bit of trouble, so she slowed it down a bit, and she's, you know, getting her apexes and got the car on the track where she needs to be, so she's coming along.
Is that strange that Dame Edna Everage is bringing up the rear? Okay, all set for a start. Red lights, just a few seconds to go. Revs are building up, away they go. Michelle gets a very, very good start. 5 laps race distance, 19 kilometres. And here's the drag down to the start line. And I'm not sure who's going to get the first corner. Kirsty might come across, yes. Great stuff from Kirsty Marshall. Oh, she's having a go. She thinks she's in the snow.
I think she's going to be in the snow if she keeps jumping curbs like that. Bradley, did you teach him how to jump curbs like this, or was this Crompton?
That was Crompton. I was telling him to stay on the black stuff there. Kirsty's really keen to do well here today. She's been trying so hard and listening and asking so many questions, and Michelle and Kirsty have been the pick, and they're, you know, going to put on a great race, I think.
Well, the field now streams through. You can see all the different lines and angles, and of course they've been taught this racing line. But let me tell you, Kirsty Marshall is one of the most competitive people you'll ever meet in your life. She really, whatever she does, she attacks. And she said to me on the grid the other day, I'm pretty nervous about this. If I relax, will I be better? Have a look at it today. Wonderful start from Kirsty Marshall.
Well, actually, not only Kirsty, but I think there's a lot of them out there which are wanting to do extremely well, because, as I said before, they're taking it very, very seriously and asking a lot of questions. And Joe Bailey, for one, is one person I think who was hell-bent on sort of doing very well here.
Yeah, they're all very keen. I'm glad. They were very worried about the concertina effect in the first corner. Oh, there's Juliet going out. She's having a bit of a go there. And, you know, it's good for them all to, it's always a problem to get through that first corner.
Here's a replay of the stunt. Have a look at the
Joe Bailey's got a fire going in the front of a car there.
Really smoked the bubble. Of course, that's really just held her back, hasn't she? Just sat in the spot, spinning wheels.
You can never get anywhere doing that. And, you know, they had a few little races at AIR the other day. Oh, look at Kirsty, hang on to it. She's working that car pretty hard.
See, have a look at the mirror really quickly, too. She got it back straight, had a big look to see what was behind her. Terrific stuff into the straight here now. Now this is a difficult corner, and I bet you that's Donna Gardner. Yes, it is. Yeah. Donna Gardner with a bit of push and shove, trying to muscle her way through the pack, because this is the hardest part. All equal cars, so you really have to be neat and tidy.
Well, out at AIR, they're all saying, you know, there's something wrong with my car. I can't pass them down the straight. Well, they're all the same. You know, the deal is you outbrake them into the corner, so they've been, you know, okay, working hard on that.
But you don't tell everyone that, because otherwise they'll all be trying to outbrake each other into the same corner, and we've seen what happens when you do that in the Group A race.
Oh, it's a great promotion. And look at Donna Gardner under brakes. Thanks very much. Just picks up one spot.
Oh, Lisa Hensley won't like that much. She's fairly competitive.
She's driven to the racetrack a couple of times with Wayne, I think.
Oh, Donna with a great move there. Pulled herself up under brakes beautifully. Now, you can see what I mean about equals speed down the straight. See, all of the cars, Donna really had got the move under brakes, but she can't make up a lot of ground down the straight. Here she comes over the curb again. Well, Brad, she's going okay.
She's going very well. You know, she's keeping her eye on the job, and she's getting all her apexes and not hitting too many curves.
Well, she's up to 13th already, so she's doing extremely well.
After one lap, it's Marshall, Fielke, Haslam, Bailey, Lewis. So Hayley Lewis up into the top runners now. That's how they stand. Kirsty Marshall with the wipers going. There's a little spit of rain. Let's hope it holds off for the rest of the day.
Like she's cleared out and left them.
Kirsty and Michelle are very smooth. You know, they've got their lines right. We were out at AIR practicing, and Kirsty went past about 3 or 4 of the girls and gave them a bit of a scare. And I said, Kirsty, great move, but you know they're so intent on doing well.
Got to say to you though, when we're doing our snow shows down the snow this year, when Kirsty Marshall announced she was going to be part of this, I said, you'll win this, because I just seen her so many times. I mean, to go down a mountain the way she does. And
but she's doing a slalom down the straight now. So.
Yeah, she's trying to shake Michelle off. Well, Michelle's done a pretty good job hanging on to her, though.
Well, it's not over yet. Michelle's been, you know, the quickest the last couple of days, and, you know, she's hanging on to Kirsty. So I really think yesterday there was just nothing between them, and only needs for Kirsty to make a little mistake, and I think Michelle will be right there. But, you know, Kirsty's really going
the thing is, though, that somebody who's as competitive as Kirsty Marshall is used to having pressure. You know, they know what the adrenaline's all about when they sort of stand up there ready to come down on a run or whatever. And she, that's one of the reasons, I think, why she's doing so well.
Michelle Fielke, the Australian netball captain, trailing, and she's made up a little bit of ground there on Kirsty, but Kirsty has her pretty well covered. She keeps looking up into the mirror. She's aware that she's there now. She comes up under brakes. Michelle does a good job there. Look at the attitude of the car.
Mate, they're doing a great job because they're using all the road and a bit of the green stuff too, which is not unusual for these types of cars, because Group E type cars use the verges very, very often.
But Dick, that's where you pay the price, don't you? Get a little bit sideways onto the grass there, and then you've got to try and make that up again. Well, you're not going to do it in straight line speed, so you've got it through the corners of brakes.
Dead right. You know, you've got to be very, very smooth with these cars. Now, some of the other drivers who aren't used to sort of competition, you see, Bradley, did you tell them that you drew a dotted line down the middle of the road and only use half the road, or what's the story?
No, we actually told them to follow all the black stuff. So, you know, that doesn't matter how many times we tell them, they get so aggressive when they want to go, and then so they start ducking and diving and getting defensive. But there's Elaine George. She's been going quite well this weekend.
Well, obviously through the chicane, you taught a few of them that the quickest way between 2 points is a straight line.
Straight line.
Donna Gardner attacks that corner again, trying to pick up another place. Gee, she's been spectacular under brakes and round the tight corners. Donna Gardner.
Well, that's Rachel McQuillan she's chasing now, and Rachel doesn't take too many prisoners either. She doesn't mind passing on the outside or the inside. Oh, we've got one off there a bit.
It's a strange line, that one, wasn't it?
Cathy Freeman. So she's...
Australia's great sprinter, having a little sprint up on the inside of the curve there, Cathy Freeman. Wonderful prospect in world athletics. And I mean, just to see the people, they're all out of their environment. We've only had a few days to work with them. It'll be an experience they'll never forget.
I'm sure they've all said that. And we had a bit of a dinner last night, and they all said they're having a great time. And, you know, it's great to meet people. You know, they're going through lists and saying, this is my hero. So it's great. I wish Kirsty would drive straight now.
Kirsty's obviously coming down the mountain again because she's got the slalom. I tell you what, they're going fairly deep under brakes.
Yeah.
And they're running they're tailgating one another. She's trying to cover a line.
Kirsty's starting to watch her a bit too much, I
think. She's fairly, you know, that's the problem I think they have, most of them, is the fact that they really should concentrate on what's in front of them rather than what's behind them.
Yeah, that's right.
But if I had Clive Jones behind me, mate, I can tell you, I'd be taking a second look.
I tell you what, they've been, it's a good dice this though. I mean, they haven't been much further there. There's the gap back now. So the field not too far back, not as strung out as we thought it may have got there. There's Clive. Look at the concentration.
Sunday afternoon drive. Look at this.
There's a look out the window.
Down again. We'll do a right turn here. Very nice.
Quite comfortably in 17th place at the moment is our Clive.
Just shuffles himself into the seat again. The look on the face, the intense concentration. 4 laps gone now is Clive James. Where's Dame Edna? We haven't seen much of Dame because Crompton is sitting beside her. Neil Crompton, who has had all of that work to do. It'll be interesting to have a look at the look on his face when he gets out of the car. There we go.
There we go.
Maybe Crompton's using half and he's using, like Crompton might be using the pedals and Dame Edna's using the steering wheel.
Look at Crompton. This will be an experience he won't forget.
Michelle's
Michelle Fielke has come past. Well, Kirsty now will be fired up.
Kirsty was saying yesterday
Check
she
this
felt more
out.
comfortable being behind than in front. I don't know that this is running perfectly to plan because there's only a lap to go, but it'll make for an interesting last lap.
I wouldn't have thought she'd want to do it on the last lap now. Kirsty Marsh's going to race on her hands now. She's going to try and get past Michelle Fielke. You've got to remember, equal speed down the straight, so she's got to do it through the corners or under brakes.
These two are having a
Great
very
dice.
good battle, I tell you.
It's interesting that
They're doing
the
very well.
sports people get...
Here's the move. Michelle coming round the outside.
She's missed a gear there. That's what's happened.
So that's where Michelle passed Kirsty Marshall.
Kirsty will be kicking herself about that. But, you know, it's all to do with being smooth and in control. And, you know, you rush through a gear change and miss it. And there you go. You lose the lead.
Okay, braking duel coming up.
here we
Kirsty
go.
Marshall up the inside. Will she do it? Fellas, can she do it from there? I think so.
I reckon they'll try and go side by side round the corner at the end of the straight. She's going to take
Michelle's
a long way
gone
out.
back. She should have moved out there. Michelle's ducked down inside.
See, look at it. Excuse
Kirsty
me.
gets it all crossed up, and Michelle doesn't
Michelle's
do
back
much
through.
better and comes back. Well, Kirsty's thrown it away there. She outbraked her and then got sideways.
Yep, Kirsty needed to move over when Michelle did, and she might have got away with that one. But, you know, as I said, they're not taking too many prisoners
Tell you
here.
what, it's very difficult to get a lot of experience in a week, isn't it?
It sure is.
3 days.
She'll have a go here, though, too. Kirsty Marshall will have a go. Michelle will know that she's only got to keep her covered. The Australian netball captain now leading on to the last corner. Here they go. Kirsty Marshall trying everything she can. Puts the nose up behind her. Here's the drag to the line. Michelle should be able to hang on. That's one of the best celebrity races dices we've had in all of the years. The event. Now have a look at Dame Edna. Have almost lapped Dame Edna.
This could be drama. I don't know what Crompton's going to say to Dame Edna here, because it's either put your indicator on and move over.
Here they come
Here,
up,
look, you can see Crompton looking for them.
up behind Dame Edna. We thought that was the last lap. This is the final lap now. So Kirsty Marshall still got some time to get past Michelle. There's Dame Edna getting well out of the way. Crompton would be saying,
Crompton's looking around. Yeah, I can see him. He had a comic for breakfast, so he could banter properly with Dame Edna. So he'd be hanging on about now, I think.
Well, what a good dice, Dick.
It is an excellent dice, as a matter of fact, and they're doing an extremely good job of it, because like, it's not easy to drive that close to another car
they're into
around
it.
a racetrack like this.
They're using all the circuit. I think this is great. They're considering they've only been driving for 3 or 4 days. It's just amazing.
So Kirsty Marshall, a champion skier, sitting right in behind the Australian netball captain, Michelle Fielke. Here they come around this corner. Up she goes.
Oh,
She's
not
going to
yet,
have
Kirsty.
a go.
Not
Can't
yet,
do it
Kirsty.
from there.
Michelle,
Gets right in the slipstream.
Michelle's very calm, you know, the whole week. She handles it well, she's smooth and she's calm, and it's interesting that they're both so competitive.
I tell you what, it's very difficult to be calm in a situation like this when you're nose to tail and you know damn well you're not going to pass anyone in a straight line.
That's right.
Got to be at the end of the straight. Only chance now.
Kirsty's got to get back over to the other side of the track under brakes if she makes a lunge, you know.
Here we go.
Here we go there.
Oh, she's gone the other way. She's trying to do it. Michelle's blocked her. What about this? A bit of crisscross stuff here. Kirsty's going to do it, I think. Here they come, Michelle.
Side
Can
by
she
side.
hold it?
This is terrific, man.
Gets up on the rim strip.
Kirsty.
Well done, Michelle Fielke. What about that? She shook her straight off.
She'll have her in the car park shortly.
Kirsty Marshall with a big bird.
No, there goes Joe Bailey, just thrown away 3rd place.
Oh, that was magic stuff. Did you see him weaving and trying to break the slipstream?
It's not over yet. She might stop on the back bumper bar here.
Who told him to do that?
Crompton.
Michelle Fielke's going to take this. The Australian
No, she
netball
might.
captain.
She's understeered.
Yeah.
Off the circuit. Kirsty Marshall has a go. What a fantastic race. The best we've had for a long, long time, many a year. So Michelle Fielke, the Australian netball captain, she comes over first. Kirsty Marshall second.
And Joe Bailey.
Look at this. Bailey and Joe Bailey.
A little bit of push and shove on the straight.
That's the strangest looking rear vision mirror I've seen for a long time.
So 3rd place is who?
3rd place was Juliet Haslam.
Juliet Haslam was 3rd. What a great dice that was. Congratulations,
was.
Brad, because obviously you taught them a lot in the few days. Here's Donna Gardner coming through now, I can see. The rest of the field, Clive James, where's Clive?
Oh, there's Dame Edna on the
Edna.
grass. Crompton will be hanging on about now, don't you think? Look, he's got the hand out the window. What's going on here?
Dame Edna coming up to the line. Her car's a bit hard to pick.
That's about the only left-hand drive Calibra around here, I think.
You can imagine Crompton, can't you? What a great job you're doing.
Well, there she is, our winner, Michelle Fielke. What a great drive. Gee, that was a terrific battle. But she did, you're right, Brad, she kept it cool. She didn't let it get to her.
You know, Christy was slowing everything out about the kitchen sink at the end there, and it just, you know, Michelle was nice and cool and calm.
Looking down the list, Donna, Gardner finished 10th, Clive James 17th. I think it's where he started, so he just had a nice Sunday drive.
Well, when you consider that, you know, Michelle and Kirsty, they're two people that are used to this sort of pressure because they get it every time they go and compete, they feel the same.
Look at the crowd too, they're really responding to the two girls. That's been a fabulous drive. I mean, we've had a lot of celebrities go around here, but nobody as quick as that. There's Joe Bailey, got very aggressive toward the end. Joe Bailey did a great job. And of course, Juliet Haslam coming in third, and we really didn't see that much of Juliet because we're looking at the front dice.
No, but she and Joe were having a great dice there, and so was Hayley. They were all together, and you know, they've got a crook mirror now.
To be quite honest, you know, for the number of people you've had in the event, and I think that yourself and Crompton have done a great job because there's certainly not too much carnage, which we've seen in past years.
Thanks,
okay, we'll take a break. Been a fabulous celebrity race here. Well done to everybody that competed. What a dice. Michelle and Kirsty, more to come very soon. Stay with us as we take you around the streets of Adelaide.
Ayrton Senna high above. Well, I tell you what, Ayrton Senna would have been very impressed with the way the women drove there today in the Celebrity Car Challenge. I don't know about Clive James there, Jackie, but he didn't really hold up the mail stick that very well, did he?
No, I think he probably has gone quietly into retirement. But I think the rest of the girls drove really well. That battle for the lead, surprisingly they're not more competitive, huh?
Yeah. Kirsty, Marshall, Michelle, I tell you what, that was, I think Darryl said it was one of the best, from my memory, it's probably the best finish that we've had for years. It was a beauty.
I think it's the best celebrity challenge we've had in the racetrack since these 9 years of racing here.
Well, let's take a look at the official results in the Celebrity Challenge, the Holden Calibra Challenge, and Michelle Fielke, Kirsty Marshall, Juliet Haslam, Joe Bailey, and Hayley Lewis. And right now, we've got the winner down there in pit lane, Michelle Fielke.
Bit of cut and thrust there. Tell us about the last lap.
Oh, I knew that Kirsty would be just wicked, and she lost a gear and I picked her up, but from then on she just tried to sneak in every corner of it. I held my line and got there in the end at the straight.
Real racing driver tactics, eh?
Yeah, cat and dog it was out there at one stage on the end of the straight. Brilliant though, I loved it.
Well, they can't say that ladies can't drive.
No, exactly right. No, it's fantastic.
Well done.
Thanks. Thank you.
I tell you what, Jackie, was also impressive about the races, and Dick Johnson pointed out, not a lot of carnage. I think only a rear view mirror went?
I think that's the only thing I saw, whereas, for example, a few years ago, or maybe even last year, the BMW race, the Celebrity, when it was that choice of car, they came back with a lot of fender bending and a lot of paintwork having to be redone, and of course, they're all expensive cars, and they're all brand new cars. So I think there's a sigh of relief somewhere in the car maker's dream.
Okay, would you buy a used car, a Calibra, from this lady, Kirsty Marshall?
Kirsty, great race. Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, from start to finish, Michelle had pole position. I got her by the first chicane, so I was pretty psyched then. One time I came up the straight in fifth gear, which wasn't too good considering we never hit fifth gear here. So I didn't realise how nervous I would be, and I was happy to be in second position so I could chase, and to get out in front at first, I found I was playing defensive, which is the wrong thing to do. I played too many sports to know that.
Are you really angry that you finished second?
Oh, God, no, I'm just happy I finished alive.
Great race, though. Good entertainment.
Thank you. I think the crowd did love it. We swapped first and second maybe 5 times, so for the crowd, I really do hope they enjoyed it.
You did good.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well done, Kirsty. And did you see Clive James going by there in the background being escorted? He looked a nervous wreck.